let's talk about one of the most expensive games on the 3DS, if not the most expensive. It might even be the most expensive. And if it isn't today, perhaps it will be. Barbie Groom and Glam Pups. Barbie Groom and Glam Pups. It's not a good game. It's not a highly sought after game. It doesn't have any cool cheat codes. It doesn't have any cool exploits. It doesn't have any interesting glitches. Doesn't have anything crazy that a developer accidentally left in or accidentally put in. Uh, no crazy coding errors, spelling errors. Why is it so expensive? Well, first thing I'm going to mention is that this chart on price charting, I don't think it's entirely accurate because last I checked, and by the way, price charting is never entirely accurate, but it does give you a feel for the trend, give you an idea of what it's worth. So right now, price charting has this at $420, 1,250 complete Canadian dollars. But I know for fact that recent sellers have been selling this for about $650 loose, and that was considered about fair value. So you're not a deal, but fair value. And by the way, a complete in box has been selling for about $2,000 Canadian as fair value. And so I did some digging on this, and I even asked one of the sellers that I was talking to that had this up for sale. I said, "What's going on with this? What's the story here?" I did some online research as well. One thing we can say for certain, basically all of the sources I hear this very common, that this when this game came out, for whatever reason, it sold so poorly that the developers, publishers pulled it from the shelves. No clearance sale. Some sources go as far as to say that the publisher destroyed the copies. They're gone, like ET style. Get rid of them, dumpster, dig a hole out in the back of Nevada, somewhere in Nevada, dig a hole, dump them in, fill the hole. Don't tell anybody. That, I don't think they went that far. I think that they probably did trash them. They're in the trash bin. But yes, this game was pulled from shelves. All sources kind of verify that. Most sources, that's a common denominator, to put it short. However, there is some additional information floating around that I heard from the seller that I talked to. I'm not sure if it's true, but if it is, this game's going much higher. You want a complete in box set, you want a full set, you have to own this game. And it is a very unique piece of history. But apparently, it was, according to this source, it may have been a UK Canadian exclusive that was kind of being floated around. I have not been able to verify that because I don't live in the States. So I don't know if it came out in the States. I would imagine that it did, but that was being floated around. And if it did, maybe it was only in certain regions. Maybe it didn't make it very far. Now here's the PAL version. I don't know if the PAL version was pulled off of shelves like the North American version. Probably was. It's just not as sought after as most PAL Nintendo versions are. The PAL version is always cheaper than the North American version, vast majority of the time, if not 100% of the time. But I wanted to bring this game to your attention because this is a game that you could realistically find at a garage sale one day, at a pawn shop one day, at a thrift store one day, at a Goodwill. This is the type of game that would commonly be mispriced, where they would look at the game, they get the game, say, "What is this? Barbie? This is all Barbie games are not worth very much. Throw it up for sale, $2. Throw it up for sale, 50 cents garage sale. It's Barbie." I'm a parent. I bought this game for my daughter, and she played it for probably 2 days at best. because it sucks. Maybe a week just because it has puppies in it. And then the mother later on sells it at a garage sale for 50 cents. Or she donates it to a Goodwill or pawn shop, gives it to a pawn shop. Hey, would you give me any money for this? Pawn shop says, it's Barbie for the 3DS. Not worth very much. I'll give you $1, and that's the best I can do. And I'm gonna put it up for sale for $5, and it's probably gonna sit on the shelf for a couple of months. Of course, and it probably would sit on the shelf for a couple of months until a collector like you or me comes along, says, "Hey, I recognize that game. I'm gonna buy this. Thank you very much, and I'm gonna flip it on eBay or I'm gonna keep it." Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Share it with your friends and family because this is something that you could actually find just browsing the aisles one day. Okay, I'm doing you a favor by letting you know about this because I think there's going to be some people out there that do run across this in the wild, and you could really make some money off this. Great way to make a buck or two.